Now, something that's caught my eye in the fallout from COP26. It's been a little while since I've been back from Glasgow, but the ripples of this event continue to percolate. One organisation which claims to counter online extremism and disinformation calls itself the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. It produced a report into those it claimed were attacking efforts to curb climate change during the summit, saying, thematically, the messaging we observed usually presented the summit as one of the following: useless, a failure, hypocritical, or harmful to the economy. That's right. If your reporting or analysis of COP26 suggested that the summit may have been a useless or a failure, if you had the temerity to suggest that leaders flying in on private jets and riding in gas-guzzling convoys may have been a tad hypocritical, or even that some measures may be economically harmful, you're deemed as a climate skeptic. No matter how much you may say that the cause of anthropogenic climate change is a serious threat, no matter if you say that it's a threat that should be tackled, if you criticise the untouchable wonder of COP, you revoke your right to an opinion, at least in the eyes of the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. Unless, of course, your name's Greta. Yes, that's right. Far more critical of COP than I ever was, Greta Thunberg declared the summit a failure on the 5th of November, when it still had over a week to go. She declared it a failure after historic agreements on protecting forests and powering past coal were reached. She declared it as a failure as 90% of the global economy were signing up to commit to net zero by the middle of this century. Yet does the self-described anti-extremism think tank criticise her for falling foul of one of their markers of, quote, actively and explicitly attacking efforts to curb climate change? No. Greta gets a free pass, despite her doom and gloom anti-COP activism. It's hard to think of a less motivating argument than claiming that somehow even 90% of the global economy signing up to net zero is an outright failure. That, despite the unprecedented action, the planet is effectively doomed anyway, that there is no hope. This is the kind of language that is not only divorced from reality, but promotes a feeling of helplessness. If COP and all this effort really is futile and a failure, if the Industrial Revolution really was one big doomsday machine, if we really are all heading for annihilation in short order anyway, then what's the point in even trying to turn things around? Greta Thunberg may not know it, but she's the biggest driver of climate scepticism that there is. And yet, when I have the temerity to point this out, who does the Institute for Strategic Dialogue criticise? Not Greta, but me. They highlighted as a primary example in their report that, and I quote, examples of posts attacking climate activists included a video by GBNews, in which Tom Harwood declared Greta Thunberg will not be happy until the entirety of humanity is back living in caves, dying at the age of 35, and eating moss. Well, if this is the quality of research into so-called disinformation or extremism, I really despair. If criticising someone for their criticism of all of the action at COP is somehow anti-COP, we really are through the looking glass now.